Welcome everyone to my garage or workshop. Probably like most of you out there, you will have a little garage space like this where you start off doing your woodworking. I'm no different. I've got probably half a single car garage to work out of, so probably like the rest of your space is at a premium. So what you need to do is buy the tools that best suit and maximize the work area that you've got. Now, my first video that I did a box out of log slicers. One of the big problems I had with that was flattening them. So I made this pretty crude and effective but very crude flattening sled with the router and some melamine. But I've got some bigger projects coming up, hopefully, where I'm going to make some side tables out of this, and so I need a better way of doing things, a better finish overall, because I was able to mill down the other log into more useful blocks, which gave it a better finish, whereas these are going to stay as a log slice, so I need the finish to be spot on. So what I did is I searched long and hard, watched a lot of YouTube videos about a thickness planer. You can buy some entry-level ones, you can buy some more expensive ones. The three main ones that I saw seemed to be reasonable and decent were this one, the DW733, there was a Metabo one and a Makita. I was happy with any of them three. They all seemed pretty decent, all had good sides, bad sides, but what I needed to do was find one that was within a reasonable budget. Looking all three constantly, looked for weeks, finally found one of these within my budget, and so I ordered it. Took quite a while to get here, probably because I didn't pay the full retail price. I got it a lot cheaper than it should have been, and here it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unbox it, have a go with it. I've never used a thicknesser before, so we'll just see how we get on with it and how much difference it's going to make in my shop. The reason why I got these, they call them benchtop planers or benchtop thicknessers, is just because they don't take up much room, and I need all the room I can get in my workshop. So I'll get to unboxing and we'll see how we get on. Well, let's have a closer look. So, read the instructions, figured out what it's all about. You have some fold away infeed, and outfeed tables. They're always attached and really solid. They don't flex if you put any pressure on them, which is great. You got your push stick if you need it. Little handy place to store that. You've got your scale on the side for your thickness and material. This is adjustable if it's not accurate. Power on off button, and then this bit here, as you can see when I press on that, it moves that scale up and down. So once you've put your wood under here, your material under here, and got the thickness level, you can then push it under here twist the handle, and then that'll tell you how much material it's going to take off. Go around the back. I'll say, here's your dust shroud. You have got some screws on either side to put it in properly. As I say, everything I've read says you can just clip it straight in like that and it stays. Found out what that little beauty's for. It's to lock your cutter head spindle in when you're changing blades. Bit of a safety feature. Under here you have your Allen key and your spanner nicely tucked away in there. You've got your handle, which raises and lowers the bed. You can see on here it's got some pre-cut points. A full turn is 1.5 mil. So when you've lined your wood up, what you can do is get it down. This then turns, line your 0 up with that arrow, and then you know if you turn it, that's going to cut off 0.5 mil. Can't really see there because my handle's in the way, but 1 mil, and then 1 full turn, 1.5 mil of material. So that's pretty clever. I like that. There's a solid outfeed table. You've got some hooks here to store your cord away when you're doing. What I like is that everything fits. Let me take this off. Will fit in your cutter. You can pack it up, store it away wherever it's going to be. Mine's probably going to live under my bench down there when I clear a bit of space. But when you're in a small shop, small environment, these are perfect for it. So what I'm going to do next is we're going to turn it on, see if we can plane some wood. The other thing I forgot to mention was this handle here. This is a lock handle. So once you've got to your desired height, you pull that down. That then locks this cutter head in place, so it's not going to move up and down when you feed your wood through. So it's supposed to help eliminate snipe and keep a consistent thickness. One thing you may have to do, I've had to do, I haven't done it properly, I'm going to have to dial it in, is you've got these adjustable nuts on the in-feed and out-feed table. They're not perfectly flat. So just to help we eliminate snipe again, you're going to have to get yourself a straight edge, twist them nuts until these are laying flat all the way through, and then you should get pretty consistent, very limited snipe on your cuts. Alright, so verdict, really impressed. This scrap bit of wood that I had lying around, had paint on it, had marks on it. It's done an absolute fantastic job, both sides, planing it down, lovely smooth surface. Probably don't even really need to give it that much of a sand if you're using this as finishing. What I would say, until you know for definite that you've got it all dialed in and you've got no snipe, is when you cut your stock, cut it a bit longer, so when you do get a bit of snipe on the edge, you can just saw that off, and then you should have perfectly flat and parallel bits of wood for the rest of it. I'd take the time dialing in your in-feed and out-feed table. They aren't straight and they need doing, and also wax it to make your wood go through a little bit smoother, a bit easier. If you're like me, you've only got a little shop vac, that's all I've got in here, to kill the dust. You'll need an adapter. I mean, luckily my Dewalt table saw hose fits into the shroud port in here, so I'm all right. I haven't had to buy anything, but you may find that you have to buy an adapter for the dust shroud. It's not 100% because there's no vacuum in the machine itself. It's just your shop vac trying to suck everything out, so you will get a bit of a mess, so you're a bit of a clear up after everything. But for a little machine which is absolutely perfect for the job that I need it to, I am very, very, very happy. What I will probably end up doing is building something to stand it on here. It's a bit wobbly. I mean, my garage is probably not even, but it's a plastic fold out bench, so I'll probably need something a bit sturdy. I'll probably do that later on, but the time being, it's absolutely spot on. Really impressed with it. I look forward to doing some projects with it. Thank you very much for your time, and as always, please like and subscribe.